Hey there, everyone. It's Brave here again. I hope everyone around the world is safe and sound and having a great day or night wherever you are. So let's get into it. What I'd like to talk about is why do some people continue to lie and make outlandish, crazy stories up in order to get some kind of advantage. So what I mean by that is, for instance, I know people who, and these are usually people who are broken or have some kind of mental issue or have a personality disorder, and sadly the personality disorder will make them literally make up lies. They will literally tell you that you are doing something, I saw you do it, even though you can literally show them I wasn't even in that city on that day at that time. And then they will literally say, no, you're lying, I can prove you were there. And you would stand your ground and say, no, I know you're making that up. The thing is, why are you making it up? What is the reason? And that's the bit that I'm going to point out is when someone would literally go out of their way to tell you like to provoke you to defend yourself. That is someone with narcissistic personality disorder. They want to provoke you with a lie. They know it's a lie, it's a ridiculous, outlandish story, and they know you can prove them wrong. But part of them is so attention seeking that if you're not giving them attention, even if it's negative attention, if you're just busy, you're getting on with your life. Like, for instance, right now I'm writing a book, so I'm super, super busy, focused on that. If I'm not working, I'm with friends. If I'm not with friends, I'm with the few family members that I do get on with. Or, I'll be talking to my friends around the world or whatever. And like I fit all that in because I have a big heart and I can always make time for everyone, but at the same time writing a book is, there's a lot to focus on, and you have to concentrate and you have to you know be in the mood, so sometimes when people will be just constantly wanting your attention, sometimes you just have to say, look, I'm really, really busy, I want to just focus on my thing at the moment, no offense, but I just need some alone time, so normal people would react to that normally and say, yep, I totally understand, who writes a book every day, so if I'm trying to do something great and you know achieve something that I personally would see as a good achievement, to write a book that will help others around the world, that is, it's like something that means something to me. It might not be everyone's dream or goal or whatever, but the fact that the ones who I know for a fact have narcissistic personality disorder, those are the ones who will be like, oh, oh, you're writing a book, are you? Oh, must be nice. Oh, you're gonna make money from that. Like, they won't see it as, wow, she's so great to be writing a book that's gonna help others. The subject is about something that will help the general public and help people of all different races and cultures, and it will help everyone. you know and instead of them seeing that as, wow, good for you, of course I'll give you space to get on with your thing, they will try and give you the silent treatment to try and provoke you to chase them. But when you're not noticing them because you're the one pulling away from everyone, not to be nasty, but just to focus on your goal, to achieve it and complete it. But they will think, oh, she's not noticing that I haven't called her. Oh, she's not blowing up my phone like she normally would. And I never blow up anyone's phone. Like, that's one thing that makes me laugh. Narcissists will be like, oh, call me anytime. Yeah, I love it when you call me every day. So you call them when you have time. And even if it's like just to talk to them for 5 minutes to show them that, oh, I'm just checking on you, and then they'll start an argument. And then you'll think, why are you starting an argument? You told me it was okay to call you. You said you wanted me to call you. You're going through financial problems, or you're going through, you're hooking up with random skanks and now they hate you because you're treating them like crap and you're throwing them away. Like, all these problems you're creating in your life, I was just checking on you to give you advice and to try not to F up your life any more than it's already effed up, you know? And so to me, it's like, why is this person trying to play games with me? I'm not the one, the two, nor the three. I'm not going to fall for these silly games. I just want to either be there for you as a good friend and help you, you know, because I love and care about all human beings, you know. But if you don't want it, that's fine. I've got a book to write, I've got people to help, I've got a life to live. I'm not sitting here worrying about you calling me or not calling me. It's your loss, basically. So, and then I don't like to abandon anyone, but I'm not going to be a fool and chasing people around because I'm not a little teenager anymore. I'm a grown woman. I've been through this craziness before, and when you show me patterns of behavior that remind me of people in my past who I've already conquered and overcome, I'm not going back to that stupid like situation. No way. Like, it really makes me laugh when people try and pull you back to a version of you that you already evolved from. It's like if someone's a caterpillar and you're a butterfly and they're looking up at you like, look at you up there with your beautiful wings flying around looking all amazing, you know, swooping down and picking up us caterpillars, saving us from birds, and then they're jealous of you because you've elevated. You're not down on the ground rolling in the mud, you know, making silly mistakes anymore. You've learnt from your mistakes. You've pulled yourself out of the mud and the dirt and rock bottom, and you make sure you help others and you give them that advice and experience that you've learned that can help them, you know, because you don't want anyone else to suffer through what you went through. So you try to, you know, give people advice before they make the same mistakes you made, you know, so that you try and prevent people's pain. But people are so stubborn and so stupid and so vain or jealous or whatever. It's like they lack, like the things that you have in you, all the good qualities in you, they lack those qualities. So they hate you for having things they won't cultivate in themselves. And the thing is, I'm just naturally kind, naturally reliable, naturally, you know, brave and honourable. If and sometimes you can't you can't fake those things. People will try and fake kindness, fake bravery, but if it's just who you are, then it's who you are. Just like if some people are just bad and it's who they are, and it doesn't matter how much they try and be good, or their mental illness makes them behave that way, or their personality disorder makes them behave that way. You know, this is unfortunate and sad, but these sometimes are the problems that why some people won't change. It literally is they have narcissistic personality disorder. They couldn't change even if they wanted to, but that's not an excuse to let them abuse you and mistreat you, because at the same time, it doesn't matter how much you love or care about them as friend or family or co-worker or whoever they are in your life. You don't deserve to be mistreated, you know. And I really do advise people to go to the channel on YouTube of Professor Sam Vaknin. He talks about narcissists and the different types of personality disorders, because there's a few different ones, but they all follow a certain pattern of behavior, like a repetitive, predictable pattern of behavior. And he is very, very helpful. And anyone who's dealing with people who are mistreating them, you can go to his channel and his videos will help you work out, are you dealing with someone who actually has a severe personality disorder, or is this just an asshole? Like, so yeah, definitely check out his channel for your own sanity, because it could be friends, you know, children, parents, colleagues, like whoever we interact with. If they are happy when you're sad, if they are constantly trying to cause trouble or constantly love bombing you and then suddenly rejecting you, all these weird behaviors that a normal person wouldn't do. And then if they, you know, say nasty things to you but then say it's a joke, or you know, try and make you jealous for no reason, even when you're not even their girlfriend or boyfriend, but they're trying to make you feel jealous. Even if you in a friendship, they'll make you feel like, oh, I like these friends over here better than you, or just weird negative stuff all the time, trying to create negativity in your life. But then when you call them out on it, saying, oh, I was only joking, or oh, you're too sensitive, or I don't know what you're talking about, or I don't mean you any harm, even though, really, because you tried to humiliate me, but that didn't work because I'm too strong and powerful to give a crap. And the people who you tried to humiliate me with, I didn't give a crap about their opinion anyway. Some low life losers who I didn't even know. It's like, how am I going to give a crap what these losers think? Their thoughts have no power over my life whatsoever. But like, that's the funny thing about narcissists, is that they really are living in a dream world, in a fantasy world. They're so paranoid that everyone's out to get them, and you're not even noticing them. And they'll be looking to create drama with you. You haven't even looked at them once, you know? And then when you do make the mistake of trying to, be their friend or be in their life, and then you think they're just a broken person like you, but then by the time you get too close to them, you think, oh shit, they're a narcissist. Oh no, not another one, and you obviously feel bad to abandon anyone, but at the same time, I am not taking on any more narcissists in my life. The second I realize you're a narcissist, even if it makes me feel sad that, oh, now I have to get you away from me because you're not right in the head, and I'm not going to let you destroy my happiness like the last narcs tried to do, like my mum did, who's a narc, like my dad did, my ex-husband. All these narcs, I've had the unfortunate, you know it's been unfortunate, but I've just been surrounded by narcs my whole life, and narcs are always attracted to my kindness and my strength. It's like the very thing that attracts them is the very thing they hate about you, that you're so strong, you're so brave, you're so beautiful, like your soul is beautiful inside and out. Like, they're so jealous of your light. And then when you try and help them and say, well, let me help you shine your light like me, let me help you get strong like me, let me help you be happy, but they just, like, nuts will literally ruin their own life just to disappoint you. That's how effed up they are. Like, I remember my mum, she was so messed up. Like, she would always moan about not having a good home, and when I was old enough to help her get a new home, she would always make excuses. Oh, I haven't got enough money to get the removal van. And I'd say, here you go, here's the money. Any more excuses? Uh, oh, I don't like the way the kitchen cupboards look. Okay, I'll buy new cupboards. Next, what's the next excuse? And then she couldn't make up any more excuses. And then she would literally just refuse to move to this new property that was perfect for her in every way, where she'd be safer, a safer area, more quiet, more like, it was just weird. And then it was because she loved to see the disappointment in my face, just like how my pathetic dad used to, like, because he abandoned us, but then he used to come in and out of our lives and be violent and then piss off again. And when one time he showed up and he was like, oh, I'm going to take you to the seaside, to the beach, which was like an hour away. And because I hadn't seen him for years, and then I thought, oh wow, is he trying to be normal? Is he not going to be violent now? Is he going to be a normal dad finally? And then he's like, make sure you're on the doorstep at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So being just like 10 or 11, I was really excited because I hadn't seen him for years, maybe 5 years, literally hadn't seen the piece of crap. And then, and what's sad is that he literally lived down the road. How sick is that you haven't checked on your kid to check if she's alive or dead for 5 years, and you literally are a bus driver in the local area, and you live down the road and you have a car and you have money in your pocket. It's not like you're poor and you can't afford to come over or something. And no one was asking him for money anyway, which was weird. I always found it weird that my mum would complain about not having enough money, but then waste her money on material crap that she didn't need, and then not ask him to contribute in any way. And then it was like, yeah, so I remember in the morning, I'm ready, my mum is ready, we're sitting on the doorstep waiting for him. He doesn't show up. Half an hour goes by, I'm still thinking he's just a bit late. He doesn't show up. So once an hour went by, I got the hint, you're not showing up. So I go back inside, grumpy, angry, confused, hurt, sad. And then we stay in all day, just in case he comes by, just in case he calls to say, sorry, something happened and I didn't mean for that to I didn't mean to disappoint you. We'll reschedule. Nothing, no phone call, no visit, nothing. Then months later, he shows up out of the blue, and I say, why did you do that? Why did you promise something you knew you weren't going to do? Do you know how painful and hurtful that was? That I hadn't seen you for years. You'd never been in my life, and the few times I had seen you in and out, you were violent. And I really thought this was a chance for us to have a normal family for once. Why did you do it? Hear what this piece of, I won't say a really bad word there, but I'll try not. It was a C word, a 4-letter word, but I'll try not to have too much foul language. So I asked this piece of crap, why? Just why? And then he looks in my little face, because remember, I'm just 10 or 11, and he goes, what are you talking about? I never promised to come and take you anywhere. And I said, excuse me? So then when he couldn't lie his way out of it, and then I go and get my mum and say, Mum, is he crazy? He's saying he never even told us, promised us to take us to the beach. And she said, oh, why are you lying? Like, you told us you were coming. We were sitting there, and then we were sitting in the house all day just in case you came by. You're such a useless, waste of space. So then he goes, oh, I remember. Yeah, you weren't in. So now he's bringing up a new lie, making up a new lie. Oh, you weren't in. Oh, I arrived on time. You weren't here. I rang the bell. I sat on the doorstep. And he literally lied and said he sat on our doorstep all day. We're in the house. So then he literally really thought that we would believe his pathetic lie, or he wanted to gaslight us and he wanted us to just go along with his lie. Why, I don't know. But this is how pathetic narcs are. They literally will say, you've been talking about me with someone, or they know things about me that only me and you have discussed. What a crock of shit, you lying dick. I don't talk to those people, or I would, you're lying. What are you doing that for? And I knew you were lying at the time you were lying, but I just said, whatever, I don't know what you're talking about. And then you continue on, oh, well, I saw your messages from them, I have screenshots. No, you didn't. So then I'd laugh at the person and say, well, there must be a clone of me typing messages and fucking like sorry, I'll try not to swear, some effing clone of me typing messages that you've screenshotted, or typing in live chats, or typing whatever. Because and then I joke to myself and say, well, if someone's crazy enough to take my photo and type in the chat, and they're psychic and they know everything about you, why don't you go be friends with them? Or go and bug them, you stupid fool. But this is the kind of stupid shit that narcs will do. It's like just so pathetic. Why are you lying? But they want to see your reaction. So my dad could see the pain in my face. He wanted to see the pain in my face. He didn't care that his lie disappointed me, that he made a fake promise. He didn't care. And it was just so sickening to see the smile on his face at our pain, literally laughing at our pain. Oh, just such a vile creature. Narcs are such vile creatures. Ugh. Anyway, so then I just remember saying we can show proof. So we literally got the neighbour and said, were we sitting on the doorstep months ago? We told you he was going to come and pick us up, right, for the beach. Yeah, yeah. And didn't you hear him say, because you were in the room when he promised? Yes, yes. So the neighbour's backing us up. So now he's angry because the neighbour's proved him wrong and he looks like a total dickhead. Even though we knew he was wrong, we're not crazy. But it's like they're crazy making. They want you to think you're crazy. Of course you're not crazy. You know for a fact that he didn't show up. He had no intention. But the sad thing is, we didn't know he had no intention of showing up. Just like this narc I'm dealing with, he says, I'll call you tomorrow. And I just say, you don't have to, because I know he's lying. Or he'll say, oh, I'll join you live. And then he'll say, call me in 5 minutes to tell me the link. And then he won't answer the phone. and then you call him again, give him 5 more minutes, he won't answer the phone, but yet you see him in the chat box, in the on the phone, or you ring and it's engaged, which means he's on the phone. But then you wait, and then when he gets off the phone, he won't even call you back. Like, these are all the games narcs play. And then when you're pissed off and you swear at them or say, F you for messing me around, then they're like, what? Why are you being mean to me? Why are you being mean to me? I don't mean you any harm. I don't have anything against you. Why is everyone so mean to me? Oh, shut the fuck up. Like, you lying sack of poop. Like, how dare you, stupid, narcissistic losers. You really think, like, I don't know you're lying? Like, I've already grown up with narcs. Like, obviously, I deluded myself and forgot who I was dealing with. Anytime I genuinely didn't know you were about to disappoint me, that's because I forgot who I was dealing with. For a second, I thought you were a normal fucking human being. And so for a second, I let myself think that your word was your word, that you were a man of your word and you were going to do the thing you promised. But then I remembered, what am I thinking? This is a narc. This is a promise of a narc means nothing. Like, get a life, grow up, you losers. Like, I'm so sick of these stupid, pathetic narcs. I'm not even going to speak to them anymore. And if you do speak to me, you're going to get the most boring version of me. You're not going to get the good version of me anymore. If I can be bothered to answer the phone, I'm literally barely going to speak. So you'll just be talking to your fucking self, because I can't stand these boring, stupid people. Like, get a life. And then you're so jealous of everyone else's life because other people can make something out of nothing and overcome their problems, and you just sit in the same boring cesspool life, going round and round on the merry-go-round. You won't change your life, you won't stop your addictions, you won't do anything different except excuse me, the only thing you do different is look for new victims. So once you've used good people and those poor people are like all used up and confused and hurt, like, why did this person mistreat me? I didn't do anything bad to them. And then you throw the good person away like trash, and then you jump onto a new victim and start the merry-go-round all over again. But one day you're going to provoke a psychopath who's going to hurt you, and then you're going to cry about it and say, oh, why did they hurt me? Because you're a monster. And that person was a monster too. So two monsters tried to destroy each other, basically, and then one of them was more violent than the other. This is the problem with narcs. They cry wolf. They tell you lies, and eventually, if you're smart enough, you will get away from them. Go to Sam Vaknin's channel, Professor Sam Vaknin's channel, listen to his videos about how to recover from narcissistic abuse, and also he tells you why narcs behave in the crazy ways they do, and it really helps you heal, and it helps you realize none of it was your fault. You were always good enough, you were always great and amazing and kind to them. They just didn't deserve it. They are messed up in the head, they are not well, they are mentally ill, and sadly narcissists will only ever seek your destruction. They do not want you to be happy. They don't even want you to be happy with them. That's how strange they are. Their condition makes it so that they're not even happy when you're happy, trying to be happy with them. Even if you literally did everything they said, jumped when they said jumped, they would still find a reason to complain. Oh, you didn't jump high enough. Oh, you made a sound when you jumped and your shoes hit the ground. Like, they're so stupid and retarded and weird that, and sorry if anyone got offended me using the R word. Sorry, I shouldn't use that word. But I didn't mean any harm. I got a disabled brother and we shouldn't really use that word, should we? But it's just so, I can't stand, all these people out here who just toxic morons who just make up lies to see a reaction, and they want a negative reaction out of you. They never lie about anything useful. They only, if they do make a positive lie up, it's because they're gonna push you up as high as they can so you feel like you're happy and on a pedestal. They'll give you some good news, like how my dad lied and told an innocent child, oh, we're going to the seaside, and me, you and your mum, we're going to walk together like a true family, take a photo together. Because before age 10, I didn't have any photos of me, my mum and my dad, because they would not normal family. There was loads of pictures of me by myself and me and my mum, but the dad just abandoned us, and because both my parents were narcs, they didn't stay together. He just abandoned us, and she couldn't find a new man because she had such a shit personality. And when she did find a boyfriend, it was just one guy, and he was a narc too, and he tried to be abusive to me, violent, not otherwise, just violence. Like, he was so disgusting. I remember one time I was really young, and I was eating at the dinner table. I mean, the dining table in the dining table, dinner table, whatever. So I'm in the kitchen, sitting at the table, eating some cereal, and I had a digestive issue that I couldn't process milk. So it's a bit like lactose intolerance. Cow's milk used to give me an upset stomach, but I still only would put milk on my cereal because that's all that was in the house. So I would put it on my Frosties, and I'm trying to eat it, but I'm getting aches and pains in my stomach the more I'm eating the milk with the cereal. So one time I just went, oh God, I can't eat anymore. And he came in, and I was about to like leave the table and put the bowl of cereal next to the sink, which is what I would normally do. That's what I was told to do. I wasn't told to wash it up. I was only like maybe 11, but my mum never made me wash the dishes that young. So then he sees me about to leave the table, and he screams at me to sit down. And I'm like, why? And he's like, sit down. And I was like, okay. So I sat down confused. And then he goes, eat. And I went, excuse me? And then, because he didn't live with us, he's just visiting. And he hadn't been her boyfriend that long. And he demands I eat the rest of the cereal. And I said, I can't. I have a stomach ache and I don't want to eat anymore. And he literally was threatening me, like, eat the food now. And I went, no, because I was a strong willed person. So I wasn't afraid of him. I was just confused why this stranger was demanding I eat in my own house that he doesn't live. And he was behaving crazy like my dad did, just outbursts of violence for no reason. So then I thought, well, I'm not tolerating this one. It's bad enough my dad was violent to me, but this guy ain't even nothing to do with me. He's just a stranger my mum was dating, and not even for that long. So then I said no. And then he literally picked up the bowl and threw the bowl of cereal in my face. So all the milk is all over my hair, the fucking Frosties is all down my face. And it was so humiliating and so shocking that I just burst into tears because I didn't know why this person wanted to hurt me. And he didn't live with us. And just like how my dad had like thrown me across the room for changing the channel in my own house where I should be safe, and he didn't even live with us. He just came in one random time and did this evil act. And then my mum didn't even save me from him. She saw it happen and then just walked off and left me alone with this attacker who just happens to share my DNA. That was my dad the other time. But then this other lunatic who has no connection to me whatsoever ever throws the food in my face. So then luckily my mum did defend me this one time, which is very rare. She heard me crying because I kind of cried loudly, like I kind of burst into tears but made a sort of loud wailing noise because I was just so hurt and shocked, like, why does this keep happening to me? Because my mum used to beat me with a belt every night for no reason because she's a sick person. And then I've got this stranger who I have no connection to bothering me. I go to school, I got to fight off racists and bullies. It was just a never ending effing struggle. And to be that young and to have experienced so many violent people, kids, adults, family, black, white, didn't matter who they were, everyone I seemed to come into contact with was effing violent to me for no reason. And so she came in and was like, oh my God, what the hell did you do? And then she threatened him with violence, the fact that he, threw food all over me. And then she told me, to leave and go, wash my face and wash my hair. But that was the only time. Well, that was just one of maybe 3 times that my mum defended me in my whole life. And she never really defended me properly, like, but that was one time I remember. And I think there's 2 other times, but I really can't remember any other times, because she was a complicated, messed up person because of her narcissistic personality disorder and her violent childhood as well, that created the monster in her. So I have sympathy for the fact that she was an abused child and my dad was an abused child. I have sympathy for the child that was abused, but I do not have sympathy or forgive the monsters they became and the way the condition forced them to mistreat me with violence. And even in other ways, even if, like, when like, I don't even want to talk about it. I was going to say there was an incident where my life was in danger and all my mum had to do was sign some paperwork to get me to safety, and she wouldn't do it. And everyone around me was like, what? This is your daughter. She's done everything for you her whole life. You didn't even deserve her as a daughter. She was so kind to you and you're a monster to her. And you could save her life and you won't do it? And no one could believe it. They were like, bitch, sign the paper now. Like, sign the paper. And she wouldn't do it. And she kept making up lies and excuses and saying someone advised her not to do this, not to take this risk. And they were like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, your daughter would die for you. She's already showed you multiple times. She's put herself at risk to protect you. She saved you from homelessness. She fought off bailiffs who were trying to kick down your door. Why can't you help her this way? And she wouldn't do it. And that was when I said, you know what? She don't care if I live or die. That's it. You're cut off. And I didn't, it's like it took so many years to cut her off, because I never truly believed that if my life was in danger that she wouldn't help me. I kept thinking, well, if push comes to shove, she has to help me. If I'm out here willing to take a bullet for you, why wouldn't you do the same for me? And I'm not even asking you to do that, Oh God. But, like, yeah, it's just so hard to to understand why there's so many toxic chaos makers who just, troublemakers. They enjoy drama, they seek attention, whether it's negative or positive, but mainly negative. They love to create chaos and turn people against each other for fun. They're not well. Their mental illness makes them this way, sadly, and it makes them enjoy being this way. So that's why they don't seek help. It's like an addiction for them. If they can't get attention of any kind, they will create a negative situation by lying or, causing problems, so that it creates a situation that they can then keep going with gossip or drama. Or it's so sad. Like, I mean, the thing you have to remember is not all people, even people without mental illnesses and without narcissistic personality disorder, not all people have your best interests at heart. Many have bad intentions, hidden agendas. And so that's why it's so important for you to just guard yourself, keep your guard up. It's better to have a guard up and not need it than to need it and not have it. Always remember that. And just watch out for fake people with their fake love and their fake promises. Test people, put boundaries up. And if anyone tries to kick down your boundaries or run from your boundaries, they're more than likely a bad person with bad intentions or a narc, because the only people who are offended by your boundaries are people who benefited from you not having any. I mean, like, because I have psychic gifts, right? Which means that if someone's lying about me really severely or trying to cause trouble or trying to lie to me, and it's not for my greatest good, well, obviously lying's not for your greatest good. I mean, some people might lie to protect your feelings because they don't want to hurt you. And even though, yes, lying is wrong, but there are times when someone didn't have a bad intention with their lie, like how, like, say if a woman was odd and she ended up getting pregnant and having the child, she might feel like it's going to hurt this child to tell them their dad, who I didn't know was a monster who is a rapist. Like, that lie is not to hurt anyone. That lie is to protect the feelings and the dignity of that child and the reputation, around her and her child. Because people are going to judge and look down on them and use it to upset the child. People are nasty. So yeah, I've had, psychic visions and dreams that have shown me people lying about me, people, literally getting together and plotting against me. It's so pathetic. And I've seen the vision clearly. It shows me the people, almost like a movie playing in my head. And then I'll go and confront them and say, did you sit down at this place with these people and say this about me? And now look, the look on their face is like, how does she know? Did she have a camera in the room? How does she know? And they are shocked to their very soul, like, how the hell does she know? And even if they lie and say, no, but the shock in their eyes showed you that you just said something that they thought you could never know. And obviously, I wouldn't know if I didn't have my psychic gift and wasn't able to receive messages from God and his angels and my ancestors to show me, these people mean you harm and we had to warn you, you know. And so, some people, it's like you want to believe the good in people, right? But it's like, even when you want to even when you want to help people, right, and they got a problem, like they've got what do you call it, narcissistic personality disorder, but you still, there's something about them you feel sorry for, or you thought you liked them. If you think that someone with narcissistic personality disorder, if you think you actually like their personality, that was the false mask they were showing you. That person who you thought you liked was fake. That is not the real them. The one who is abusive to you, the one who is abusive to you, the one who triangulates and tries to make you jealous, the one who steals from you, the one who hurts you physically or mentally or psychologically, the one who plays games, the one who tells lies, that is the real them. That is what the personality disorder creates them to be: a monster, a liar, someone who sadistically enjoys hurting others. Your pain is their pleasure. And this is what victims of narcs don't realize until it's too late, and then they're addicted or hooked to the false mask that the person showed. Because if you're a broken person and someone love bombs you, or if you're shy and you don't think you look good and someone says you're beautiful, you're amazing, and you really haven't heard anyone say that to you before, that's a powerful thing. That's why they use these tactics, because it's powerful to use like certain manipulation tactics with people. And usually you have to use positive manipulation, or people won't do what you want. If you're a bad person, bad people have worked out, if they're the regular horrible person they are, they've seen that people go, ugh, get away from me, asshole. They know that, oh, I'm gonna have to fake nice, aren't I? I'm gonna have to take her out to dinner, and I hate doing all this nice lovey-dovey romantic crap, but I gotta do it, or she's not gonna get hooked on me, or I gotta give her really good sex, or she's not gonna get hooked on me. I gotta get her hooked on me. And so they will put so much effort into making you addicted to them. And they won't succeed with every person, but it's usually the people who have some weakness, some chink in their armor emotionally. They come from a broken family, or you and the narcissist have some kind of connection, as in you both have childhood trauma, or something they said resonated with you, with your pain or something. There's always something, because the people who are very strong, when I say very strong, because I'm a broken person, but I'm extremely strong. So you don't have to be like someone who's had a really good life with good parents doesn't mean they're strong. I know someone in my life, he had perfect parents, supportive dad who looked after the whole family. No female in the family had to work, had to spend money. He took care of all of them. Even when he was struggling, he would not let his wife go out and work. And she was even saying, let me go out and help you. And he was like, no, I'm the man, I will look after everyone. And I admired that, because I know that the piece of trash thing that is supposed to be my dad wouldn't even buy me a pencil that costs 50 cents, you know. So but the children of that family are very weak mentally. They were so well looked after that they were spoiled. They didn't have to struggle, they didn't have to suffer, and because of that, they have narcissistic traits. One of the sisters is definitely a full-blown narcissist, but it's not from abuse, it's from bloody being spoiled, because she didn't grow up in reality. She had almost like a fairy tale life, which is not reality. So when she does step out into reality, she gets confused, because people show her how it really is in the real world, that bitch, you're not going to get everything pampered to you. You're going to have to actually lift a finger and work. You're going to actually have to pay your own rent. You're going to have to buy your own shopping. You're not going to get carried around like Queen Victoria, you know what I mean? So people who have had like the opposite life to me doesn't make them any stronger than me. If anything, I'm much stronger than them because of the pain I've gone through. Not that I would wish the pain on anyone else, because someone else could have gone through my life and not lasted 2 minutes in my shoes. But because, you know, by the grace of God, I've been given this extra strength, this extra tenacity and power to overcome severe trauma and pain. It's not easy, but it doesn't destroy me the way other people will take their own life over something small. And yet I've been through tons of things, and people can't understand how I'm still the last one standing all the time. Like they will literally like join forces to try and destroy me, all my enemies. And even with a big group of them, they cannot destroy me. I just won't stay down. And they're like, how is this bitch not going down? She's always the last one standing. She always gets back up. How is she doing this? And I laugh at them and say, wow, I really must be powerful, because it took all of you lot to come up with that measly lame plan and you still couldn't defeat me. Ha! Joke's on you. But it's just so weird, isn't it? How, you know, you'll go out of your way to help others, and sometimes you'll be helping your biggest opposition, your biggest enemy, and not even know it at first, you know. And that's why it's just so important to have your guard up, to put boundaries up. And even if you love and care about people, don't allow that love and care to let you be abused, because if they truly cared about you, it would break their heart to know you were hurt, especially if they hurt you, you know. Because even when I left my ex-husband, it broke my heart to know that he was hurting because of me, even though he was the abuser, even though he was a disgusting narc. But then I knew that he became a narc because of his abuse, because of, you know, all the trauma he'd gone through. But at the same time, that's no excuse for him to come and abuse me when I've been through trauma. I'm trying to save you from the world, and you're trying to abuse me, you know, and you're recruiting the world to abuse me too. Like, what is that about? You know, and sadly, narcs will never be able to be anything more than your enemy. They that's why some people, some victims of narcissistic abuse describe how it's like they hated me. One minute they loved me and then they hated me. It was so Jekyll and Hyde. And that's true. It is like they love and hate you. What they misinterpret as love is actually the urge to what do they call it? Idolize you. So they sorry, I think it's idolize or idolization that Sam Vaknin talks about, where even if you're not pretty or not intelligent or not, you know, anything to write home about, but they sense weakness in you somewhere. You've got a chink in your armor, you come from a broken home, or you're a bit overgiving, or you're a people pleaser, or you know, you fancy them and they don't fancy you, but they see that you want to be around them, you want them in some way, or they see something in you they can use. Because imagine like a narcissist is like a miner, you know, and you're the mine. Now, what does a miner do? They want to extract as much value out of the mine so that they can enrich themselves, you know? So it's like they really don't care about you, and it is painful for people who have fallen in love with a narc or got attached to a narc, you know, or your parents who are narcs, to truly realize they don't love you. That's a painful thing, to think that your mum really hated when you were happy, and she was pleased when your life was in danger, and she was happy when you were suffering. You know, you were so down, you thought you'd take yourself out of here, and she didn't even blink an eye about that. You told her that's how you felt, and she didn't even respond. You know, you hung up the phone saying, "That's it, I'm taking myself out of here." Bloop. And she didn't call for months. You could have been dead, and she didn't even check, and she didn't care. And just so many horrible instances. There's so many I can't even name them all. I can't even remember. Like, I can remember them all. I don't even want to say too much more because it's making me angry. Like, I'm laughing to try and just be like, calm down. You know, because my brain just is like flashing it through my mind, like, do you remember when she did this, do you remember when she did that, do you remember when she let you down here? And it's like, stop showing me, I've opened the floodgates, I don't want to see it. Like, push it to the side. Like, I mean, yes, it's hard to, you know, have those memories still, even if you repress, they pop up by themselves. Like I've said in a video before, intrusive thoughts cannot be stopped. The only way you can deal with them really is to control your reaction to them and navigate your way through them. So, like how now I'm talking about very painful, harsh stuff, but I sound like I'm laughing and jovial. No, these are very painful stories, but my brain is trying to laugh as a way to stop me connecting wholeheartedly to the pain. So that's, I guess, a defense mechanism. I think some people laugh when they're nervous, or laugh when something bad's going on, and then people go, why are they laughing? They're not serious, or, you know, they can't be in pain, they're laughing. Or, and it's like, no, it's just one of these weird you know, defense mechanisms that I've developed. I think I didn't even realize I had it too much until someone was like, why are you laughing? You're talking about really horrible stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but it's my stuff. Like, if you told me about your stuff, of course I wouldn't laugh. I wouldn't laugh whatsoever. But then when I talk about my stuff, I don't even realize I made that laughing sound. And in a way, I'm only making it because I'm just like so shocked, like, geez, can you believe this crap? You know, it's a bit like that. And it's also a bit of, like I said, my brain trying to put like a soothing balm between me and the pain, to say, okay, we can talk about this. You know, you're recollecting a painful time, but I'm not going to let you connect to the emotion of it. We're going to say it very matter of fact so you can get the words out without crying. Or because if I actually let myself connect to the actual emotion, then I might start crying, or I might get so angry I can't, you know, finish the video or something. See, I did it again, that sort of slight laughing sound. Anywho, but yes, so I'm very, very, you know, sorry for anyone out there who has experienced, you know, bad childhood trauma, whether it was violence or other types, and I'm very, very sorry about that. And I really, really hope that, you know, God will give you the strength to cope with those pains and painful memories, and, you know, give you the strength to continue your life's journey and be successful and protected in the future. And, you know, try and, you know, go to free support groups, you know, where you can speak about these things. Sometimes it hurts to talk about it, and sometimes it hurts to keep it in, you know, and that's where these support groups, you don't have to go every week, you know, you can go when you do feel like you can manage to talk about things in your life that were painful, and you'd be talking with other people who have gone through severe pain as well. You know, like when I was ARD, and someone suggested I go to some support groups with other victims of sexual abuse and stuff, and violence, you know, and domestic abuse, and it was very strange for me because I didn't think talking to a bunch of strangers would be helpful. I was like, why would I tell these strangers, the one of the worst things that happened to me? Why would they care, or why do I want strangers to know? And what if they see me in the supermarket, then they know my business? Are they going to laugh at me, judge me, shame me? So at first I didn't speak. I waited till everyone else spoke, and I just had my head down, but I was listening. And there was like 20 people there, and all different races, different ages, different like men, women. And I just remember, like, I was so surprised that every person who spoke about their trauma, and everyone had different stories, some had similar stories, and so when it finally got to me, I thought, F it, I'm just going to say what happened to me, whether I don't know what the reaction will be. And I just said, trigger warning, I'm just going to say exactly what happened. And that was it. So I just spoke candid, like, clearly. I don't know if the word's candidly, but whatever, I just spoke the truth. And I was so, so surprised that people were crying for me. And I was like, oh, and people wanted to hug me, and people were so sorry. And I was like, oh, I really thought, because my whole life I'd only been around abusive, nasty, cruel people, I didn't expect anyone to have a nice reaction or a caring reaction. And because these people were genuinely good souls who had had terrible things happen to them, just like me, just a good soul who had just been put through the ringer, put through the wood chipper, so to speak, just always, one sec. Yeah, people, good people always being mistreated, in life. And like when they were talking to me and saying that, oh, what happened to you, that happened to me, I understand the complex feelings, and when you spoke about it, it was like you were telling my story, and I'd never spoken my story out loud. I just used to come and listen to everyone but not speak. But now next week I'm going to speak. I'm going to tell my story, and it's because of you. And I was like, wow, like, so. And then every week I would, repeat the story, or repeat how I was feeling about it, like how I was coping, or the different varying emotions I would feel up and down, like one minute I think I'm over it, and then I'm like, well, how the hell can I ever get over it, but you delude yourself into thinking, oh, I'm not thinking about it today, or maybe I can just pretend it never happened, or and we would just talk honestly about fluctuating, reactions and feelings and emotions, right? And then, so yeah, it was really helpful, and I'm very grateful that God let it be that it crossed my path, that I could go to these particular groups, where, because I actually tried a couple of different support groups under the same company but in different areas. So I'd travel out of my own area because I was a bit worried that, oh, I don't want like local people to know my business, I guess. So I'd go to an area I'm not from, that I could go to on the bus, maybe half an hour away or something, but I didn't live in that area. So, and then sometimes I'd go in and just feel like I don't feel comfortable with these particular people, and I would say what happened, but they didn't have as, like, they did have a sort of kind reaction, but it was like I just didn't feel, I don't know, I didn't feel like I wanted to go back to those groups. But then there was one group I found, and they was just, the minute I walked in, it was like loving, kind energy was in the room already before anyone spoke. And being like having psychic gifts and being an empath, I suddenly felt, oh yeah, I can, this group is all, automatically felt like I was meant to belong to this group. This is the group that I'm meant to be here to help them, and they're here to help me. I just psychically knew it when I walked in. Whereas with the other ones, the feeling was, not this one, don't come back to this one, So then, yeah, and I've genuinely felt helped by the others, and no one there was a psychologist or anyone, they were just genuine human beings who have been mistreated in life like me, and just us telling our stories to each other actually helped, it obviously couldn't take away the pain we were feeling, but it let us know and reminded us that you're not alone, and there are other people dealing with severe trauma, and let us all just sit and have a cup of tea and a biscuit and talk about it, and just know that no one in this room means you any harm, and they're not judging you, and they're not shaming you, and they're not laughing at you, you know and yeah, it was. And then I remember every time I would speak, and people would come up to me, sometimes in private, men and women, and say, "Oh, what you spoke about this week and the way you said it, like, it really helped me understand, unpack my own feelings, those complicated feelings, um, because I was odd by someone I was in a relationship with, and I was trying to leave the relationship, and then they asked me because I wanted to leave. It was like a way to break my spirit, break my strength, because I was too strong. I was too strong, and I was always fighting back against the narcissistic abuse, and the mind games, and the other nasty things he did, and that was his way of humiliating me and trying to break my spirit so that I wouldn't leave, because he must have done this to people before. Uh, but then, but he was punished, and but it's just, yeah, it's just very strange. Like, when it happened, I remember thinking, like, why, if everything in life is meant to happen and everything is a lesson or a test, what the hell am I supposed to learn from this horrible thing? Really? Like, I was angry at the thought of, well, if I pick my own life, why the hell would I pick this? And why have the person I loved and cared about be the person to do one of the worst things that's ever happened to me? And then there was, like, most weeks I was talking to people about, it's so confusing because I don't love the person after they've done this horrible thing to me, but then there is that feeling of, oh no, but if they go to jail they're going to get hurt. And then I'm like, well, why do you care if they get hurt? They didn't care if they hurt you. And then you hate that part of you that is compassionate for them, even though you know that the good, that's what makes you a good person, that you have empathy and compassion. That's what makes you not like them. That's what makes you a decent human being. And they didn't have empathy and compassion and decency because of their narcissistic personality disorder, took that away from them. They could easily become a monster and then look you in your face and say, I didn't do anything wrong, you're mistaken. And it's like, one young man was saying that he was abused by someone in his family, a parent, and it was severely confusing for him, because although he told the police and other family members, and the dad was arrested, but he still had that confused feeling of, but I love my dad, but I hate what he did to me. He's a monster for doing that to me, but I'm confused. Why do I love my dad even though I hate the monster he is? And it was like, when I was trying to explain that I hate that I can't dissolve that compassion of, I don't know, like, he deserves to be punished, but there's a tiny part of you that wishes it never happened and you didn't want to have to punish him, or you know what I mean? And so he was like, he and another lady were like the only ones who were like, yeah, I totally understand that, and I don't think I could have even spoke about it unless you spoke about it, because people would think you were weird to have any modicum of compassion for. And it wasn't that I had compassion for the monstrous act they did, of course not. It was more the fact that I was angry, like, look what I'm gonna have to do now. I'm gonna have to take revenge on you, or I'm gonna have to make sure you get locked up, because I'm not gonna allow you to be a monster out here and do it to someone else. I don't want anyone to go through what I've been through, and clearly something's wrong with you. And it's very complicated, and people were angry at me when I said that. When I said to people around me, like, part of me feels bad for him that he can't be normal, or, and they're like, what are you feeling sorry for him for? And I was like, No, I'm not. It's just like I'm trying to just tell you how I feel. But they were getting angry at me for not being able to be ruthless against him the way he was ruthless against me. And I said, yeah, but listen to me. I refuse to become the evil I'm fighting against. Do you understand? If I lose my humanity, if I lose my empathy and compassion, I am the monster I'm fighting against. Of course, an eye for an eye. Of course, he needs to be punished. I fucking know that, like, also, I shouldn't swear. I effing know that. I'm the victim. You really think I don't want him to be punished? It didn't even happen to you. How are you more angry than me? You know, you're getting angry at me like I want him walking around here free. You know, it was complicated, and it was like, yeah, it was good to know that when I spoke about those things, saying, you know, with one hand you want to strangle them and beat them, and with the other hand, you know, that because this was someone you had loved and trusted, you can't dissolve overnight those feelings. You just, your mind is telling you, well, you're trying to focus on the person they were before the incident happened, which, and that's like a defense mechanism because you don't want to face the monster they were in that moment. You know, the Jekyll and Hyde. You know, if they've got split personality disorder, you're feeling bad for when they change back into the non-monster, and that non-monster might end up in jail with the monster. You know, it's very complicated, and I don't think many people understand. But when I did talk every week for quite a while, and when people genuinely said I helped them just by talking about these complicated feelings, and it made them understand their complicated feelings and made them want to talk about it because, you know, they knew they're not being judged or ridiculed, and I will back them up and I can understand. And yeah, that really made me think, wow, for a second I thought, you know, I couldn't see any way that this anything good could come out of this, because obviously it's a bad, horrible thing. But when I saw how people were thanking me and genuinely saying, you helped me let go of some of the pain. Like, see, I want to cry when I said that, because I really, it really touched my heart to be like, well, you helped me. Like, I helped them and they helped me. And you know, it was such a god blessing. Like, and it's weird, it's like, I don't know how to say this properly, but I'll just say it. It's like, if something good was to come out of this bad thing, even though nothing good about it, but if anything, if you could say the one useful thing that happened was that I was able to go to these support groups and help take away someone's pain, or even a little bit of their pain, help them release that after years of torment, even though I had to go through something terrible similar to what they've gone through, because we all had different, obviously different experiences. But if like, it kind of made me think, oh, okay, if this was destined to happen, I couldn't see any good that could come out of it. But then after, when I'm helping people and they're helping me, then it showed me that, did you see the help that they didn't, like, those people didn't know that 20 years later I was going to come along, speak about my trauma, and it was going to dissolve some of their pain. So I hope I I hope I said that clearly. I feel like I repeated myself a little bit there. um yeah, so, you know, sometimes there's lessons that we can learn in the struggle. Sometimes we won't learn that lesson unless we go through the terrible struggle. You know, there's people out here who have had a silver spoon in their mouth from birth. Their parents were rich, they got money given to them, and they never knew what it was like to struggle. And they'll become a narcissist from just being spoiled and not, you know, then they go around destroying other people. And then you have people like me who never were given anything, never protected, never, helped, but yet I will never lose my humanity. I will never not show kindness and compassion to anyone and everyone, you know. Like, I remember I was at the bus stop not long ago, and there was a guy and he was shivering. And then I said, "Are you cold?" And he was like, "Yeah, I haven't got a lot of money and I can't afford a winter coat." And I literally took off my, like, I wasn't wearing a proper coat, but I had like a thick, like a sort of, I usually buy like baggy men's hoodie coats that we call them Parkers here, Parker coats, but it's just like a sort of regular shaped coat, nothing fancy, with a big fluffy hood, a hood with fluff. And I just took the stuff out of my pockets, put it in my handbag, and just said, "Here you go." And he was like confused, like, "What? You're just giving me your coat?" And I said, "Yeah, I got loads of coats. This is one of many. If you need a coat, just take it." And he was like, "Oh, but I can't pay you." And I said, "No, I don't want you to pay me." And then I just gave him my coat and my gloves, because I knew that, I can survive to go home on the bus. I didn't know if he was homeless or not. I didn't want to pry in case he was embarrassed to speak, about it. But he kind of looked like someone who was struggling, possibly homeless or living sofa surfing. When someone just has a look like they're a bit scruffy or they're not, in the space they want to be, and but yeah, just, to me, without hesitation, I just gave him my coat because he needed it, and I didn't want anything from him. I didn't want him to bow down and kiss my feet, you know what I mean? Whereas other people would look at him and go, "Oh, look at this scruffy guy. Oh, he's homeless," or "Oh, he's a thief," or, they'll just think the worst of him and not know anything about him. But because I'm psychic, I could sense he didn't mean me any harm. He's clearly going through something. Just like, to me, it was nothing. I'd give you the shirt off my back type person. I've always been like that, and I don't know. It's just a shame. There's not enough. There's really not enough people like me who genuinely care about others. I've only met. I can't even say I've met anyone like me. Like, I've met people similar to me who seemed kind, but maybe less than five people in my whole life that I could name. And then, obviously, I'm not perfect. I'm no saint. Like, I'll take revenge on you in a heartbeat if you hurt me or anyone I care about. And I don't see that as a bad thing. I see that as, you better stop abusing people and then you won't have my revenge, will you? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not going out of my way to hurt you, but you have provoked, that revenge, that righteous anger, that righteous vengeance. It's your fault. But yeah, I really can't think of, like, even the people I'm thinking of, it's more like three people, not even five, and they were, and the kindness they showed was good, but it wasn't as deep as my kindness. Like, it wasn't like they're gonna give you the shirt off their back. And then it could have been fake kindness. Like, I don't even I don't want to judge people, but it's like, for all I know, what if they were a narcissist showing fake kindness? But at the same time, you know, I wish I could meet someone like me who was genuinely kind, genuinely protective of others, always helping, genuinely wanting the betterment of all good souls. Like, God, I really wish I could meet someone like me, and just, we would go out and just help this world so much. That is so, because the more bad people I come across, is the more I want to withdraw from the world. So I'll still go out and volunteer and feed the homeless and go to support groups and run, domestic violence groups, to support victims. I'll do all those things because that is what my soul drives me to do, to help, to reach out and find people who need help and support, even if it's with your words. Like, even if you can't help people financially, you can still give a kind word, sometimes a kind word can save a person's life. You know, when someone's at the cliff edge or on the bridge ready to jump, and a kind soul says, "Don't jump. Let me talk to you for a minute." You know, and then that person's own family weren't willing to talk to them to stop them going to the ledge, going off the bridge, you know. But then someone else was like, I don't want to see you hurt, and I don't even know you. You know, there's so many things that people could do in this world if they weren't so self-focused and selfish. Like, look at the amount of time people waste on superficial things, making themselves look plastic and fake for the judgment of strangers on the internet. Like, I have nothing against the internet. I'm using the internet right now, but I'm putting something useful on the internet. You hear what I'm saying? I'm not putting ridiculous, reality shows up that embarrass, women and show them in a bad light, or show certain, like people of color in a bad light. Certain reality shows, they just got certain select group of people embarrassing themselves for money, violating each other, being violent, and then it just keeps a negative stereotype of them going round and round and round. It's so sad. But they would never put an educational program up, a program about and their ancestors, how strong and powerful their ancestors were, or it's just so sad. This world is pathetic. Like, when you look on the internet, there's more nonsense on there. Like, when I search the internet looking for anything positive, there's barely anything on there. And I'm not even joking. Like, there's so much negativity or stupid, empty, soulless, boring crap. Like, I can't even believe it. Like, how is the internet that can reach the whole world not more positive, not more helpful? Like, people are letting comments on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram make them want to jump off a bridge because someone said their wig looks a bit, too far back, or their makeup's a bit ugly, or their eyebrows aren't even, or you're too dark, you're too light, you're too fat, you're too thin, your hair's too straight, it's too frizzy, your eyes are not blue, your eyes are brown, your eyes. I mean, what? Why do people care what some dumb stranger thinks? Like, this is so strange. But yet, they won't take the time to encourage anyone. You've got all these music people out here, um, you know, singing songs, explicit songs, violent songs, encouraging stupid people who don't have a mind of their own, who are easily influenced, encouraging them to be trash. It's just so embarrassing. Like, this, you just have to pray for this sick world. I mean, even you've seen this Diddy finally got arrested, but look how he's been abusing people for 30 years. 30 years, just like R. Kelly, just like Bill Cosby, just like, you know I mean, even Hugh Hefner was doing some weird stuff. Why wasn't he indicted? But no one's speaking out against these people, at the time. And people were literally have the tattoo of the Playboy bunny on their skin. Do you know what was going on at that mansion? It's not something worth putting on your skin. Why don't you go and get an education? Why don't you go and feed the homeless? Why don't you do something useful? So pathetic. Like, this world sickens me. It really, oh God, like, I can't even deal with this world. But yeah, I just want people to remember that all you good souls out there, you are so important. All the good souls that are here on earth right now, just you being here and going into the world and doing no harm and wishing good for others and praying for peace and protection of others, you are chipping away at the evil. Your presence here is needed, even if you can't financially carry other people because you've got your own problems, that your money can only stretch to your family, whatever. No one's asking you to go out and buy every homeless person, everything they need, because we're all struggling. But even if just you praying for peace and protection of others in the world, you pushing out that positive energy, you not being a hypocrite, don't be praying for peace and protection of everyone and then going out and mugging people and attacking people and hurting people. Be genuine, be honest, be pure of heart, have integrity, be honorable, be brave, do what's right even when no one's looking, because wrong is wrong even if everyone is doing it, and right is right even if no one is doing it. So yeah, just be decent people and go out into the world and spread kindness and compassion, and don't become the evil we're fighting against. But don't take any crap off anyone either. Be brave, protect yourself and the ones you care about. And if you see anything bad going on in your community or around you, call it out. Be a whistleblower. Don't take any, don't turn a blind eye, because that is how people like that disgusting Diddy and Weinstein and Bill Cosby and all these nasty evil people, because they're not the only ones. There's loads more of these sickos. Their shit hasn't caught them yet. That's the only difference, right? So if people didn't turn a blind eye to their evil and disgusting behavior and their abuse, they couldn't get away with it. These monsters couldn't be as powerful as they are without people, being accomplices and helping them. If every person he showed abuse to went straight to, I mean, obviously, yeah, there was corrupt police and things like that, but if they went over their head to the FBI or someone else, or gathered information, if they're going to be around these people for a long time, start recording, start getting, information. If you need evidence, you need evidence. But these people were willing to take bribes, and and keep coming back for more bribes. And, and then when he didn't want to bribe them anymore, he threatened their family with violence or death. And then suddenly they keep their mouth shut. So it's so sick. And then I'm even more disgusted to see people actually trying to defend him and saying, well, we don't know if he did all this crap. Well, I saw the videotape of him kicking a woman in the head and dragging her up and down the hotel corridor like a rag doll. So, and he lied and said he didn't do that. And then the footage suddenly popped up out of nowhere. So, yeah, you need to look at why you're supporting evil. Clearly, anyone who would support someone like Diddy is someone who would do what he has done. Because how can you say that, oh, he's innocent until proven guilty, when for years there have been people trying to talk out about him. There's been, just so yuck. I hate this world. Honestly, I'm just yuck. Anyway, I'm going to go now, but thank you for listening, and God bless everyone. Bye for now.